Welcome to today's deep dive. I'm your host.
And I'm your resident security expert.
And I was actually sitting at a coffee shop this morning, just kind of people watching.
Let me guess. Everyone had their heads down.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's just thumb scrolling through their lives, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I looked at my own phone sitting on the table, this little rectangle of glass and aluminum, and it really occurred to me that we have this massive collective delusion about these devices.
A delusion of privacy, I'm assuming.
Exactly that. We treat them like vaults.
Right.
Because it's locked, it's in my pocket, it uses my face to open, it feels safe because it's deeply personal. But today's deep dive is, it's going to make that coffee shop scenario feel a lot less comfortable.
Yeah, it really is.
We're going to completely shatter that illusion for you today.
It is uncomfortable, but honestly, it is necessary. Because the reality is, that device in your pocket right now might currently be functioning as a broadcast tower for someone else.
Which is terrifying.
It is.
So we are diving deep into a specific threat today. It's called ZeroDayRAT.
ZeroDayRAT, yes.
And honestly, reading through the sources on this, we're pulling from a recent report from Fox News and the CyberGuy, Kurt Knutsson, published right around February 2026. And it's not just a glitch.
No, not a
It's not a nuisance. It feels like something out of a spy thriller, but it is unfortunately very, very real.
Right. This isn't your old school virus. It's not the thing that just slows down your computer or pops up annoying ads for cheap sunglasses.
Right, the stuff we used to get in the early 2000s.
Exactly. ZeroDayRAT is described by security researchers, specifically the team at iVerify, as a complete mobile compromise toolkit.
A toolkit? That sounds ominously organized.
It is.
Like it comes with a user manual.
It practically does. It is highly organized.
Now, before everyone listening throws their phone in the microwave or something, let's state our mission here, because we aren't trying to just fearmonger.
No, not at all. Fear causes paralysis. We want the opposite of that.
We want action.
Exactly. The goal today is to understand the actual mechanics of this specific threat. We're going to unpack how it works, why it is fundamentally different from threats we've seen before, and most importantly, the specific red flags you can look for on your own device right now.
Okay, so let's unpack this. What exactly is ZeroDayRAT?
Well, let's start with the acronym. RANT stands for Remote Access Trojan.
Okay.
Unlike a worm that just spreads to destroy things or maybe delete files, a WAR-AT is designed to give an outsider total control.
It opens the back door and just leaves it wide open?
Precisely. It's inviting someone in. Security researchers at iVerify, they do mobile security and digital forensics. They classify this specifically as total surveillance.
Total surveillance.
Yes, it's not just grabbing a password here and there. It captures the entire context of your digital life.
And here's where it gets really interesting to me. And by interesting, I mean terrifying. There is this long-standing myth out there that if you have an iPhone, you are basically untouchable.
Oh, the old Macs don't get viruses slogan.
Yeah, people still believe that.
It is a very dangerous myth to hold on to, especially in 2026.
Because Zero-Day doesn't care what phone you have.
Right. One of the critical details in the report is that it is platform agnostic. It works on both iPhone and Android.
Wow. So nobody is safe just because of the Apple logo on the back of their phone.
Precisely. Whether you are deep in the Apple ecosystem or the Google ecosystem, this toolkit is designed to penetrate it. And once it's in, it offers the attacker what they call a central dashboard.
The dashboard. I want to linger on this image for a moment.
Sure.
Because usually when we picture hacking, we picture lines of green code falling down a black screen like in The Matrix.
Right, the classic Hollywood hacker.
Yeah, but you're saying this is an actual user interface.
It is a polished product. Think of it like a Salesforce dashboard or a social media command center. Once a device is infected, the attacker just sits at this dashboard and sees a live activity timeline.
A live timeline of your life.
Exactly. It's not just a dump of raw data. It is a narrative of your day. It shows who you are talking to, which apps you were using, and exactly when you are active.
That is wild. So they can see, okay, the user woke up at 7 a.m., checked Instagram for 10 minutes, then opened their banking app.
They see all of that.
Yeah.
It builds a complete profile of your daily routine. And it goes deeper. The inbox isn't just copied over, it's searchable.
Oh, wow.
The hacker can literally type in the word password or meetup or bank and search through your text messages remotely.
And the report mentioned they can even see really mundane stuff, right? Like your battery level?
Yes, battery level, lock status.
Why would a hacker care if I have 12% battery? That seems useless.
It's about situational awareness.
Yeah.
It seems mundane to us, but to an attacker, knowing your battery is at 5% might tell them why you suddenly went offline.
Oh, I see.
It tells them, don't panic. The victim didn't find the malware. Their phone just died. It gives them total context of the device's state. Okay, that makes sense. That's a good overview. But I want to get into the creepy factor now. The specific surveillance tools.
It's very creepy.
Because the source material lists some capabilities that honestly make you want to put electrical tape over every camera you own.
It is chilling. We are talking about real-time monitoring. The dashboard allows the attacker to activate the front or rear camera and the microphone.
Without the user knowing.
Completely without the user initiating it. Imagine you are having a private conversation in your living room, maybe regarding a sensitive family matter.
And your phone is just sitting on the coffee table.
Exactly. You aren't touching it. The screen is black. ZeroDayRAT can effectively turn that phone into a live listening bug.
And they can see the screen too, right?
Yes. It's called screen mirroring. They view your screen in real time. Use the analogy of someone looking over your shoulder while you scroll through your photos or read your private emails.
Except they are invisible.
Invisible, and they could be sitting on the other side of the world. There was a term in the report that really stood out to me, contextual keylogging. Now, I know what a regular keylogger is. It just records every letter I type.
Right.
But what is the contextual part? Why is that an important distinction?
That is a very significant evolution in spyware. Old school keyloggers would just send a constant stream of letters.
Right, it would just be a wall of gibberish like HELHOWAREYOE.
Exactly. You'd get emails mixed with Google searches, mixed with text messages, and the hacker would have to guess what it all meant.
They'd have to decode the mess.
Contextual keylogging fixes that for the attacker. It records the keystrokes alongside the metadata, specifically which app is currently open and how long the user spends there.
So instead of just seeing PASWORD mixed in with everything else, they see user opened Wells Fargo app.
Yep.
User typed PASWORD.
Precisely. It connects the raw data to the specific action. It creates a complete picture. It even records gestures and screen input.
Gestures too.
Yeah, swipes, taps. It reconstructs exactly what you were doing, completely removing the guesswork for the criminal.
Which leads us to the inevitable question, why? What do they actually want? I'm assuming it's not just to see my cat photos or judge my Spotify playlists.
No, it is almost always financial. ZeroDayRAT specifically targets banking apps, Apple Pay, and PayPal. The entire goal is to monetize the access they have to your life.
And there was this one specific trick mentioned regarding cryptocurrency that I found incredibly clever in a really bad way. Clipboard injection. Can you explain how that works?
This is truly insidious. So think about how you use crypto if you trade it. Wallet addresses are these incredibly long, complicated strings of random characters.
Right, like 30 or 40 alphanumerics.
Nobody types them out manually.
No, you definitely make a typo. You copy and paste. I always copy the address from an email or a website, and I paste it into my wallet app to send the money.
ZeroDayRAT detects exactly when a crypto wallet address is copied to your clipboard.
Okay.
And in the split second before you paste it, the spyware swaps that address for the attacker's own wallet address.
Whoa. So I hit copy on the right address, the one I want to send money to.
But when you hit paste, you are actually pasting the thief's address.
Yes. And because the addresses look like random gibberish anyway, most users never double-check every single character before hitting send.
They check the first two letters and the last two, and that's it. You hit send, and the money is gone forever.
That is terrifyingly efficient. It just exploits our natural laziness. And the report says they don't even need full remote control to drain accounts?
No, they don't. Think about two-factor authentication.
Like the text messages with the 6-digit codes.
Right. If they have access to your notifications, those one-time passcodes your bank sends via SMS and they can see your screen, that is often enough to bypass security measures without ever taking full systemic control of the operating system.
I just watch you log in, wait for the text to pop up on the screen they're mirroring, intercept the code, and take over the session. So we have this military-grade spyware. It sounds like something out of a Mission Impossible movie. I would assume it must be incredibly hard to get your hands on, right? Like you have to be on the deep, dark web, knowing a guy who knows a guy.
That's the scariest part of the CyberGuy report, actually.
Yeah.
No, you don't need to be a master hacker. You just need to have Telegram.
Telegram, the regular messaging app.
The very same app millions of people use every day. Reports indicate this platform is openly sold on Telegram channels. This is what the industry calls the democratization of cybercrime.
I hate that phrase, but it makes total sense. It's basically hacking as a service.
That's exactly what it is. It lowers the barrier to entry significantly. A would-be cyber criminal who doesn't know how to write a single line of code can simply buy this toolkit with a credit card or crypto.
That expands the threat landscape massively.
Massively. Because now, anyone with bad intentions and a bit of spare cash can access surveillance tools that used to be the exclusive domain of nation-states.
Okay, so now that you listening are sufficiently paranoid, let's pivot to the diagnosis.
Good idea.
How do you know if this thing is actually on your phone? Because as you said, these things are designed to be invisible. There's no skull flashing on the screen laughing at you.
Right. Stealth is the entire point. But the phone is still a physical object, and running this kind of high-level surveillance takes real energy. You need to look for physical symptoms first.
Physical symptoms.
Like heat. Exactly. If your phone feels hot, and I don't mean you've been playing a heavy 3D game for 2 hours or left it on your car dashboard in the sun.
Right.
I mean, it's just sitting on your desk, or you're sending a simple text message, and it feels hot to the touch. That heat is generated by the processor working overtime.
Working overtime to stream my life to a stranger.
Correct. It is likely processing that live video feed or data stream in the background. And logically, that heavy processing would hit the battery too.
Huge red flag. Sudden battery drain.
If your usage habits haven't changed, you aren't suddenly watching 4K movies all day on cellular, but your battery is dying by noon, something is eating that power.
And data usage, right? Because that live video feed has to go somewhere.
Correct. You can check your settings. If there's a massive spike in data usage, especially from generic system services, the phone is transmitting that live feed to the dashboard we talked about earlier.
What about digital signs? Are there any visual clues on the screen itself? Because I know modern phones have those built-in privacy indicators now.
Yes, and you should definitely pay attention to them. You know those little green or orange dots that appear at the top of your screen on iPhone or Android?
Yeah, the green one usually means the camera is currently on and the orange one is the microphone.
Right. If you see that green camera dot or the orange microphone dot turning on randomly when you aren't taking a selfie or recording a voice note, that is a massive indicator. That is the spyware actively using the hardware.
Okay, that's a very clear visual one. What about digging deeper into the settings? The report mentioned checking configuration profiles for iPhone users. That sounds a little bit technical.
It is a bit more technical, but very important to know. On an iPhone, if you go to Settings, then General, then VPN and Device Management, you should look there.
What are we looking for exactly?
Unless your employer specifically manages your phone for work, there usually shouldn't be anything listed there. If you see a weird profile that you don't remember installing, that could be the spyware's foothold.
And what about for Android users?
On Android, you're looking for Device Administrator Permissions. You want to check if any unknown apps have been granted admin rights. An app you don't recognize should never have the ability to wipe your phone or change your system password.
Makes sense. And I assume getting random password reset emails is also a really bad sign.
Yes. That's the classic canary in the coal mine. If you get a reset your password email for Facebook or your bank and you didn't ask for it, assume the attacker's trying to get in using the info they've already scraped from your phone.
Okay, let's say the worst has happened to someone listening. You see the green dot, the phone is hot, you have a weird profile installed, you have ZeroDayRAT. What do you do? What is the protocol? Do I just throw the phone in the river?
Not yet. Step 1 is immediate quarantine. You have to disconnect.
Pull the plug.
Turn off Wi-Fi, turn off cellular data, enable airplane mode immediately. You need to stop the data bleed and cut the live connection between your phone and the attacker's dashboard.
Okay, step 2. And this one is crucial because I think a lot of people would mess this up naturally. The instinct is to panic and start changing all your passwords right there on the phone.
Do not do that. That is the absolute worst thing you can do.
Because they're keylogging you.
Exactly. If you change the password on the infected device, you're quite literally just handing them the brand new password.
Right.
You need to perform a password pivot, leave the phone in airplane mode, go to a different trusted computer, a laptop, a spouse's phone, and change your passwords there.
And enable two-factor authentication immediately on everything.
Yes. Banking, social media, email, everything.
Okay, so you're disconnected, passwords changed elsewhere. Now, how do you actually get this thing off the phone? Can you just find the bad app and delete it?
Usually, no. These things bury themselves deep in the system. The source material cites the nuclear option as the most effective method, which is a full factory reset.
Wipe it completely clean.
Completely. Wipe the device back to factory settings. But, and this is a huge but you have to be very careful with your backups.
Ah, the backup trap. I can totally see this happening. You wipe the phone, feel safe, and then you just restore your cloud backup from yesterday.
And you just reinstall the malware right back onto the clean phone.
That is heartbreaking. So you have to do a manual restore only.
Exactly. Don't bring the system settings or the app data back automatically. Download your apps fresh from the official store. Only sync back your raw photos and your contacts.
And what about severe cases? What if that doesn't work?
If the phone was previously jailbroken or rooted, or if the malware is just particularly persistent, the safest option might honestly be replacing the device entirely.
Throw it in the river, after all.
Basically, it's expensive, but your identity and your bank accounts are worth far more than the cost of a new handset.
Let's talk about prevention to wrap this up. How to stop this from happening in the first place? Because how does it get in? I'm assuming it doesn't just float in through the Wi-Fi air.
No, the primary vector is almost always sideloading.
Sideloading, that's when you install apps from outside the official App Store or Google Play Store, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Apple calls their ecosystem the walled garden for a reason. When you purposefully step outside that garden and download an app directly from a random website or a link in a text message, you are bypassing all the official security screening.
And that is the open door ZeroDayRAT walks right through.
Exactly.
So rule number 1 for everyone listening, stick to the official stores.
Absolutely. And rule number 2, updates. I know they are annoying. I know you don't want to wait for your phone to restart in the middle of the day.
We all just hit update later. Remind me tonight. Remind me tomorrow.
We do. But those operating system updates often contain the critical patches for the specific security holes that ZeroDayRAT exploits. If you ignore the update, you leave the hole wide open.
And we should definitely talk about permissions.
Yes, do a permissions audit. Go through your apps in the settings. Does that simple solitaire game really need access to your microphone? Does that basic flashlight app need access to your contacts?
No. Why would it ever need that?
It doesn't. So turn it off. Limit your attack surface. If an app doesn't have system permission to use the mic, the spyware hiding inside it cannot listen to you.
And what about jailbreaking? I feel like that used to be super popular back in the day to get cool custom themes, but it sounds incredibly risky now.
It is extremely risky today.
Ugh.
Jailbreaking or rooting actively removes the manufacturer's built-in security protections.
Right.
You are effectively taking the locks off the doors of your house just because you want to paint the interior walls a different color. It makes it infinitely easier for malware to install itself deep in the root system.
Lastly, the report briefly mentioned data removal services. How does that fit into defending against this?
It's all about minimizing your digital footprint. Attackers often target specific individuals based on info they easily find online data brokers selling your phone number, your email, your home address.
Oh, so they text you the malicious link directly because they bought your number.
Exactly. Using a service to scrub that data from the web makes you a much harder target to profile an attack in the first place.
So bringing it all together, what does this all mean for us? We've really gone from phone in pocket to digital spy.
It represents a fundamental shift in how we need to view these devices. They're incredibly powerful computers packed with sensors that see and hear everything around us. ZeroDayRAT is proof that if we aren't careful, those sensors can and will be turned against us.
But the key takeaway here, and I think this gives me some hope, is that it usually requires us to open the door.
That is the silver lining in all of this. The defense is almost entirely behavioral. Clicking a bad link, sideloading a shady app, ignoring a critical update.
We are the ones doing that.
Yes, the technology is scary, but the defense is largely in your hands.
Yeah.
You have control over your behavior.
I want to leave you, the listener, with a provocative thought today as we wrap up.
Sure.
We talked about how this software is sold openly on Telegram. It's a literal toolkit accessible to anyone with an internet connection. If a piece of software that costs a few bucks can bypass security to access your camera, your microphone, and your bank account all at once in one package,
Yeah.
are the tech giants, Apple and Google, actually doing enough to protect the ecosystem? Or have we reached a point where the responsibility is fully 100% on the user now?
That is the very uncomfortable question. The walls of that walled garden might not be nearly as high as we like to think they are.
Definitely something to mull over. In the meantime, pick up your phone right now if you can and check those app permissions. See which random apps are listening to you. It might really surprise you.
Stay safe out there.
We'll catch you in the next deep dive.